Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. Hope everyone had a great week, and I hope that you're having an even better weekend. All right, we're going to get straight to today's show. The title is Exceptional, and the topic is living your best life as an author. Well, in today's episode, it just isn't about authors, okay? This show is not just for authors today, but it's for all creators. And you know who you are, all right? So if you define the word exceptional, it means beyond measure, right? Standing out because you are the best at what you do. But how do you reach that level? How do you earn the title of exceptional author or exceptional creator in a world full of talent, competition, and creativity? All right, we're going to talk about it today. So first of all, let's uncover some truths. And the truth is, being exceptional, it is not something that happens overnight, right? Because it is most definitely not luck. And it is not a title that you simply claim. Now, what it is one that you earn through dedication, through perseverance, and through passion. Now, every word you write and every story you tell and every lesson you learn along the way, that contributes to that growth, okay? So another contribution to that growth is believing in yourself. To live your best life as an author or as a creator, you must first believe in yourself, right? Because confidence is the cornerstone of success. And if you don't see the greatness within you, how can you expect others to recognize it? Because you have to believe that your voice matters, that your stories have value, and that your journey, no matter how long or winding, is leading you towards something truly remarkable. Okay? So you have to first believe in yourself. You have to first trust in yourself. You have to trust and believe in the gift that has been given to you, right? So if you don't believe in it, if you don't believe and trust in it, then how can you make someone else believe and trust in it as well? Okay? It starts with you and then it outpours to others, all right? So the next thing today is that you need to be consistent, because consistency is always key. All right. You can't just stop and start things and never pick them up again. All right. That is not being consistent. And exceptional authors, they show up even when the motivation fades, right? They write through the doubt and then they edit through the frustration. And let me tell you something. Editing is something that I absolutely hate. And now I understand that it is a great part of writing. You know, you have to go in sometimes and act like a surgeon, right? You have to take out the parts that are bad and the parts that are unnecessary, that, you know, you can survive without these parts. And so you have to make that determination of what goes and what stays. But my thing is that actually doing that, that's a hard part, because when you write a story, when you create a story, you want to keep everything that you put in that story because you feel that it's necessary. It's a necessary extension of that story. And if you take it away, then in some way it's going to make your story seem less. But that's not true. Okay. So you have to do all of that necessary editing because your story requires it. Okay. And then you have to keep pushing when no one else is even watching. And that's part of that process. That's behind the scenes, but still you're treating it as if the world is watching you while you're doing it. So you have to do it, and you have to be consistent. Even if it is frustrating, you still have to do it, because showing up for your craft every single day is what separates dreamers from doers. Did you hear me? All right. So now you need to live your passion. Okay? You need to live your passion, not just through your writing, but through your life. How you live your life, being consistent and living out your truth, all of that is a reflection on what you do when you're creating, right? So if you're not passionate about life, if you're not passionate about anything, how do you expect to be passionate about your craft? Okay, you have to have that passion, that fire, that desire that drives you each and every day to do what you love. Okay, it has to be there. Otherwise, it will die on the vine, and we do not want that happening, right? You need to embrace all of those opportunities to growth. Okay, because we talk about growth quite a bit on this show. We want to grow. Those things that you hold back, you can't grow. And I'll give you a prime example of growing. Now, by nature, I am an introvert, okay? I am most comfortable being behind the scenes because I don't have to face anyone and I don't have to look someone directly into their eyes. Not that I have a problem with that, because I can do it, but I don't like doing it, okay? I am comfortable being behind the scenes, doing what I do, a podcast. That is perfect for someone like me, because I can speak my truths without having to be visual in doing it. You don't have to see me doing it, okay? But you can hear me doing it, and you can hear the passion in my voice while I'm doing it, okay? So that's another part of living your passion. I refuse to let something that's part of my nature, being an introvert, stand in the way of me being who I want to be, to have the passion for what I love doing and not be able to express that because of my holdups. Okay. So that is one reason why I started this podcast, because I love talking, but I love talking when I don't have to be in front of an audience. And writing also gives me that creative ability to be able to write stories, to tell stories verbally, without having to speak them, okay? I can still speak. You can still hear my voice through the stories that I create. You can still hear my voice through the podcast that I publicize on a weekly basis, okay? Because in order for me to grow as a podcast, being an introvert, I had to learn a way to connect with the listeners, and this was a way for me to do that. So in your passion, in living your passion, you have to learn how to grow. You have to learn how to connect, and then you have to learn how to share your gift with the world. And that's exactly what I did. All right. Because your words can inspire, they can heal, and they can also transform lives, but only if you allow them to. All right. So I think the biggest thing is remembering that being exceptional doesn't mean being perfect. And let me explain that to you, why I say that. Because if the world was a perfect place, then we would have no conflict. We would always have peace. Everything would always be great. But we know in reality, that is not the truth. It is far from it, because there is no perfection in this world. So being exceptional does not mean being perfect. It means being purposeful. Okay, you have to be purposeful in everything you do to be exceptional at it. All right, you don't have to be perfect, but you have to be purposeful. Okay, because it means that you have to strive each day to be better than you were yesterday. Right? So you need to live boldly, and you need to write passionately, and you need to never stop believing in the power of your own story. Okay? You have to be able to do those things, to live passionate, to be purposeful, to be consistent. All of those things are necessary to live your dreams out loud, right? Because there is power in your own story, but you have to be able to tell it. You have to be able to learn how to be consistent in everything that you do, because everything matters, right? It matters not only to you, but to the people that are listening to you. You know, another fine example of that is when you see new creators on social media. They haven't quite learned how to promote who they are and what they do. So a lot of times they know that they don't have a lot of views, and they know that most people will just scroll on past them because of the fact that they don't have a lot of viewers yet. But they employ the people who are watching the video, especially on TikTok, if it comes across your FYP. They ask them, the first thing they do is ask them not to scroll, to stop, and to listen to what they have to say. And guys, let me tell you, that is so important, right? It's giving that creator a chance to promote their platform by getting people to listen to them, not just to scroll past them because they see that they don't have a lot of viewers yet, or a lot of likes, or a lot of loves, or a lot of shares yet, or any comments. It gives them that opportunity to speak directly to you, that person who would normally just scroll right on past like they didn't see the video. So they're speaking to you. So please, please, please learn how to just stop, to listen, to like, to comment, and to share, because that is so valuable to new creators that are out there, because they need you to survive, right? You're part of their survival. You know, they're putting everything on the line to post that live video or that recorded video of them trying to tell you who they are as a creator, and to tell you what they're doing and tell you why you need to support them. So that is so important. All right. Always listen to the newbies that are out there, because sometimes what they have to say is way more important than all of those creators who have thousands and millions of views and followers. You know, and maybe it's perhaps what they're saying is not so important. It's just trendy. It's something that people can get behind. It's something that they identify with. But sometimes it's those creators that are the most identifiable, the ones that are most agreeable, are the ones that get scrolled past. So the next time that you're tempted to do that, don't do that. Just stop and listen to what they have to tell you, okay? Because what they have to say is equally important as those who have a ton of viewers and listeners, okay? You know, because the path to being exceptional, it begins with one decision: to live your best life as an author, to live your best life as a creator, to live your best life at whatever it is that you're doing in this world, okay? Be the best that you can be, because it's always better to do good than to do bad, all right? I mean, that sounds elementary, but it's something that each and every one of us can understand, okay? Because even a baby knows being good from being bad, right? They know. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't sneak and do it. And it's the same way with us. We always try to hide the bad, because we know that we should not be doing that. But in this case, it is your decision to be whomever and whatever it is that you want to be, okay? And this is just a little author note for you, okay? So thank you for joining me for this empowering discussion, first and foremost, okay? And lastly, and if today's message inspired you, please be sure to subscribe for more motivational insights and author encouragements, okay? Because together we'll continue learning, we will continue growing and living our best lives one story at a time. All right, guys, that is it for today. And as I always say before I end each and every segment, be sure to tell those who you care about the most how you feel about them today, because tomorrow is not promised, and it may be the only chance you get to say it. So on that note, I love you. I hope you love me back. And until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.